Buying your first home is a mix of emotions, exciting, nerve-wracking, and let's be honest, it's downright confusing. I still remember the day I bought my first home. Looking back, I realized just how many mistakes I made. It felt a bit like assembling IKEA furniture without the instructions. That's why today, I want to help you avoid the same pitfalls I fell into. Whether you're buying your first home or just need a refresher, I'm sharing the lessons I learned the hard way. Mistake number 1. Buying with short-term equity in mind. This is a risky mindset that some buyers fall into, thinking they're going to make quick, easy money on a home by selling it in just a couple of years. Here's the reality. If you're buying with short-term equity in mind, hoping to sell it in 2 or 3 years for a profit, you are playing with fire. Real estate does not just go up in value all the time, even if it feels this way after the recent market boom. In fact, after major uptrends in home prices, we often see market level off or even decline to find some balance. If you buy a home today, there's a real chance that prices could remain flat or even dip a bit over the next few years. What I'm trying to say is that real estate does not move up in a straight line. It cycles with periods of growth and correction. Then selling a home isn't cheap, and this is where experience comes in. Someone with a bit of experience knows exactly how expensive it is to sell a house. Between real estate commission, closing costs, or any updates you may need to make, selling a home can eat up between 5 to 10% of the home's purchase price. For example, let's say you bought a home for $300,000 and plan to sell it for $330,000. You might be picturing a $30,000 profit, but after accounting for transaction costs, commissions, and fees, you could end up with much less or even be facing a loss. I recently sold a house where on paper I broke even, but once I factored in the 3% commission plus other transaction costs, it actually cost me $8,000 out of pocket. These costs are real and need to be factored into any plan for short-term profit. So what do I suggest? Approach home buying with a long-term mindset, especially if it's your primary residence. Think about it as a 5-year commitment at a minimum. This way you can ride out those inevitable market fluctuations and build equity gradually. Mistake number 2, making life changes during the mortgage process. The mortgage process is thorough and lenders go through every detail of your financial life to ensure you are a good risk. But did you know that they check your financial status not just at the beginning of the process, but also right before closing? This means that any significant life changes like changing a job, making a large purchase, or shifting income can derail your mortgage approval, even if you're days from finalizing your loan. First, switching jobs during the mortgage process may seem harmless if the new job has better pay, but lenders evaluate your income and employment stability, and a sudden change can create uncertainty. If you switch to a job with a probationary period, or if the new income structure is less stable, like a commission-based job, the lender may decide you are a high risk and either delay your loan or deny it completely. If you think your pre-approval means you're in the clear, remember the lender will verify your income again just days before closing to ensure nothing has changed. If a job change is unavoidable, be upfront with your lender right away. They may be able to guide you on the documents needed to keep your approval on track. Again, a lender will check your credit and debt levels throughout the process, and any large purchase like a car or even new furniture for the house can disrupt your debt to income ratio, potentially jeopardizing your loan approval. Until you have the keys in your hand, it's best to avoid any new debt or credit inquiries. Then moving large sums of money between accounts or making an unusually large deposits can trigger a red flag with lenders. They might ask you for additional documentation, which could delay closing. The safest approach is to keep everything as steady as possible until the deal is done. I learned this lesson the hard way during the purchase of my second home. The lender required me to pay off a $22,000 car loan in order for me to qualify, and so I did. What I didn't realize was that paying it off months before closing would impact my credit score, which caused me to qualify with a higher interest rate. In hindsight, I should have waited until closing to pay it off, and the lender should have really guided me better, but it was a valuable lesson. Mistake number 3, ignoring the importance of location. Location isn't just a cliche. It's a critical factor in real estate. Many first-time buyers get so focused on the property itself, the square footage, the layout, the finishes, that they overlook the importance of the neighborhood and the surrounding area. But the truth is, you can change anything about the house, but you cannot change its location. For me personally, the school district has to be good, whether it's a primary residence or a rental. Yes, even for a rental, I prefer a good school district, or at least a decent school district, because you tend to get better tenants. A beautiful house that's an hour away from work may feel exciting at first, but the long commute can become exhausting over time. Or property in a less than ideal neighborhood might come with lower upfront costs, but could mean higher stress levels due to crime or noise. And are there any reputable schools for your future or your current children? All of these factors contribute to a home's long-term satisfaction and its resale value. Spend some time getting to know the neighborhood before making a decision. Visit at different times of the day, talk to the neighbors if possible, and look up the community data like crime rates and school ratings. All this data is available, and if you're unsure, just ask your realtor how to find this data. They should be able to guide you. Some buyers skip this step and later regret because they realize that the area does not align with their lifestyle or values. Mistake number 4. Overlooking self-employment income stability. Being self-employed has many advantages like the flexibility and the control over your income. But when it comes to buying a home, self-employment comes with some extra challenges. Lenders may view self-employed borrowers as a high risk due to income variability. This means that any dip in your income or changes in your business's performance can impact your loan approval, even if you're already pre-approved. Unlike W-2 employees, self-employed borrowers must demonstrate not just the current income but also income stability. Lenders will ask for 2 years of tax returns, profit and loss statements, and even business bank statements to get a full picture of your income's consistency. They will average your income over 2 years, which means a single bad year can lower your overall average. If your income fluctuates, communicate openly with the lender. Don't assume that a dip in the business's performance will go unnoticed. Lenders typically verify income right up to the closing date, and a sudden drop in income could put your loan at risk. I made this mistake before buying my first house. I could not qualify for a loan because I had too many write-offs. And on paper, my income after all those write-offs was too low. Had I been strategic with those write-offs, I would have shown more income on my tax returns. And just to be clear, I did not do anything illegal. It was all through a CPA. But I hadn't communicated with him that I planned to buy a house. Long story short, I was unable to buy a home that year, but I did buy the house the following year. So self-employed people, or people who are both self-employed and W-2 workers, sometimes don't realize that all those tax deductions could harm them in certain situations. Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions that most people ever make. And while it comes with its challenges, it can also be incredibly rewarding when done right. Avoiding these common mistakes can save you time, money, and the stress. Learn from these lessons, plan strategically, and approach the process with patience. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video helps you on your journey to finding the perfect home.